Terra Classic burns is something that we have to talk about. Binance has delayed their burn, but how much realistically are we going to see when they do eventually burn? Well, I'm about to tell you in this video exactly what I think. It might just surprise us. You want to stay around to the end of the video for that. But before we do that and go any further, please subscribe to the channel. Keeps up to date with everything going on in the crypto market, as well as supporting the channel with the links down below. If you want to grab some free Luna Classic, then sign up to MEXC and you're going to get 30% off your trading fees. So do me a favor, use the links, support the channel, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Let's get into this one. So currently looking at the market, we are just under that $1 trillion mark, 993.17 billion, up 1.28%. Bitcoin 21.2 broke 22k earlier, has pulled back. We're waiting for the Asian markets to open. We could see a bit of a bull run out of them. ETH at 1578 continues its onslaught, hopefully up to that 1600 mark, as well as a number of other coins starting to run. As we move down the chart, I'll skip through this pretty quickly. We get down to the 46th highest ranked cryptocurrency out there. Terra Classic currently at 1778, 0.5% down, $192.3 million in volume. That's an interesting point. Remember that, $192.3 million in volume. Market cap 1.064, so still maintaining over that $1 billion market cap. Now, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about this. So we know that Binance is going to change the way they burn Terra Classic. We covered this on the channel when it first came out. But in short, for those of you that maybe don't know, they're going to reduce the amount they burn to 50%. And at the same time, they are delaying until the 1st of March. Now, what that does is we're going to get a cumulative burn since December. So a significant number. So we'll have December's and then the 2 following months on top of that. And that's for the reminting that we now know is gone. We know the gas fees are going to be increased to support the community pool. So the minting of Luna Classic is no longer a thing on the chain, which I think is an important point to reference. Now, before we go any further, in terms of the Binance burn, just taking a look at exactly where we cap. They currently sit at the top of the table. 20.102 billion Luna Classic burn is significant amount of money. Well over $4 million that they have bought, well above our burn tax. So what realistically are we going to see? Well, it's important we run through a couple of numbers and here on my spreadsheet. So like I said, that 192 million, let's say as an average, we're going to get $100 million in volume over the period of time that they haven't burned. Over the course of 30 days, equates to $3 billion. That's kind of where we sit with that. Now, we know roughly it's about 20 to 21% of that total volume then becomes part of those Binance spots, whether that's through premium rate traders, etc., etc. So, you know, for the kind of purpose of this, over the 3 months up until the point where we see March the 1st, we're going to be roughly taking in about $1.8 billion in cash. Taking today's price at 1770, remember the higher the price, the less we burn. We could see a 10 billion token burn as of that March. Now, obviously, they've said they're going to remove 50%, so it's actually going to be more like 5.5 to 6. It's still a significant amount. It's still a $1.8 million burn in one chunk. Now, you could argue and say, well, okay, let's say we do more. So that, what we just talked about, $200 million. Well, all of a sudden, that 3 becomes a 6. And you can start to see that the numbers suddenly start to go up. So already we're at 20.3, take the 50% off, gets us to about 11 billion. And if Luna Classic was to go absolutely crazy, we have had days at $300 million. Well, that all of a sudden becomes 9 billion over the course of that month. Putting that into the spreadsheet gives us a potential burn of over 15 billion Luna Classic. Time will only tell. You could even argue if the price gets driven back down, you could say we unfortunately head back down to the 15s. Well, now you start getting into some big numbers. 36, that'll be 18 billion Luna Classic burn in one significant number, you know, potentially even doubling the amount that Binance could burn. What we do want to see is obviously the supply coming down. Now, it's important that if you hold Luna Classic and you want to benefit yourself and the chain, definitely look into staking. You see the staking numbers are starting to increase. We saw that massive removal when we had all the noise about Terra Station. We now know we've got the interchain wallet, but staking is coming back. Staking not only supports the channel, the ecosystem, you ultimately benefit by holding your stakes, and it's part of our entire decentralized governance feature. So important that we do that. But where is LUNC currently sitting? Well, we are consolidating. We are moving sideways. We saw that gigantic whale sell off. We're on the hourly chart here as we go in. Money flow still looks pretty healthy, and RSI is trending. If we get some positive market movement, then Luna Classic could absolutely do the same thing. Now, we generally see Luna Classic not correlate with Bitcoin or the wider market. It tends to move indirect of that. So potentially as we see the market cool or even the market start to move, we should expect Luna Classic to go the other way. Now, as we build into this potential burn from Binance, people are going to be pretty excited about it, specifically if we take a look at what volume we've had coming through, and I'll have a bit more data as we get nearer to the time, but it's very possible that we see some of those bigger volumes. You can see there, look, 195 yesterday, 300, 392, 200. You know, we could absolutely start to see those moves, especially as we start to build and continue to build on the ecosystem. Then we could definitely see some significant moves in terms of those burns, and ultimately that's what we have to do. Yes, staking is great. Yes, getting interchain wallet is great. Yes, getting new holders and volume through our network is absolutely what we want to do. But we still have to get rid of that 6.871 trillion coin supply and get it down to a more respectable 10 billion. It's going to take some time, and it's certainly going to be an interesting journey, one of which I am here for every day to keep you up to date with everything going on with Luna Classic. But let's start a sweepstake. What do you think the Binance burn looks like on the 1st of March? Drop your decisions and your views in the comments, and we'll certainly come back to this over the course of the next couple of months. As ever, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. I do really appreciate it. We'd love to have you as part of the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.